Welcome, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto, and we're following very, very closely what's happening with the Saudis, who apparently are furious over this Senate measure here to go after our support for the Saudis in their ongoing war, decades-long war in Yemen that's killed tens of thousands. Now, a key Republican member of that committee, John Barrasso, voted actually against that Saudi resolution. Nevertheless, it has caused a great divide, even within the Republican Party. The senator with us right now. How bad is this getting, Senator? Because they've already moved to curtail their oil production as much to raise the price of oil, but maybe to stick it to us. How bad is this?
Well, there are a couple of things about this. While there was a division on that specific resolution, we voted unanimously in the Senate to condemn the brutal, ruthless murder of Jamal Khashoggi and to point out that MBS, the Crown Prince, was responsible. If there is a smoking gun, and I believe there is, his fingers are on the murder weapon. So that was our sense to say we needed to speak with moral clarity about what had happened and about our American values in that situation.
Now,
this is
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I raised this issue with our ambassador to Germany. I don't know if we have the sound, but this is coming from the ambassador to Germany, Rick Grinnell, on how far this goes and whether it sends a different message. I want you to react to this.
Okay.
I think that the president's policies are exactly where they should be. He's got to balance a whole bunch of issues. He's got to balance human rights. He's got to balance our relationship in the Middle East. We have to have a solid relationship with the Saudis. Anyone who doesn't think that we don't need a solid relationship, a good relationship with the Saudis, is not really understanding the Middle East.
Now, Senator, when I talked to the ambassador on my Saturday show, one of the things he said is that we make a statement, but you don't necessarily cut off your nose to spite your face. I guess that's kind of the view you have, but that if the Saudis are willing to do this sort of thing, to come back at us and then try to cut oil production, that's a heck of a thank you to a president who, and many have criticized his standing by the Saudi royal family, but that's a heck of a thank you, right?
Well, I think you saw at the G20 the high five between the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia and Vladimir Putin, and they're trying to form a super OPEC. There was a wonderful editorial in the Wall Street Journal about how the United States has broken OPEC because of our ability to use energy, the master resource, as an implement of power.
To the Saudis? And I know
well, we're not.
We are, though. It's still business as usual. We're not demanding he step down. We're not demanding. Yeah, maybe for perfectly valid reasons, as you say, sir. But I mean, we're hardly making them feel the heat here. We're hardly shelving any deals or doing anything that's in their economic interest, right?
Well, in the region, as the ambassador spoke, it is critical that we have allies there to work in our fight against Iran. Iran is the evil player there. The relationship between Saudi Arabia and Iran, Sunni versus Shia, has been going on for 1,400 years.
No, I understand that.
We are not going to resolve that.
No, sir, you're absolutely right. Iran is a lot worse than these characters, by far. But do we send a mixed message here that, and I know we can't pick and choose our leaders in that region of the world, and we work with who we work with, but that it sends a message that we're emboldening a regime that's not really doing things the way we like, to put it mildly?
Well, I think that the Saudi royal family may want to consider who they want to be the face of that country for the next 30 years. And I believe the Crown Prince's face ought to be in a wanted picture, wanted for murder, because of what has happened here.
It's not.
So they're going to have to decide long-term what they want to do.
He's going to be there a while. Are you okay with that?
Well, the Senate spoke, the sense of the Senate spoke about our moral values, spoke with moral clarity. We have interests in the area. They are going to continue in terms of the safety and security of the United States. In terms of what Iran is doing, their efforts to get a nuclear weapon, Iran with a nuclear weapon makes all of us less safe and less secure and the world less stable. And my goal there is homeland security for us at home in America.
Senator, switching gears, if you'll indulge me, on the fears of a shutdown at the end of this week, do you think it's inevitable?
No, I don't think it's inevitable. There are a number of us working to get a solution. We're working on it tonight. We'll work on it through Friday. As you know, it would be a partial shutdown at most. 75% of the government has already been funded through the next year by the appropriations process, which is the way it's supposed to work. I'd like to have it all funded that way. The issue is homeland security, border security, which to me is national security, along with economic security and energy security. But our border security is key. I think the president
is it worth
right.
shutting down the government? You're separated by $3.5 billion in the scheme of a $4 trillion budget. I know that's chump change, but it is what it is. And I know, as you say, it's not the entire government, but it seems like, you know, calmer, smoother thinking men and women can avoid something like that. Over $3.5 billion, right?
Well, that's why we're working on it tonight and through the week. I think it's always better to keep the government open. I think there's no value in getting the government to shut down.
But Senator, the president says he gets that $5 billion or bust.
Well, I agree with the president. I think that's the right figure. That's what the Homeland Security and Border Patrol said they need to keep the border secure. It is the right number, and I agree with the president. So I'm here, though, working to keep the government open, and I think that's what a responsible governing body does, governs, keeps the government open. I think there's no benefit in shutting down the government.
All right, we'll watch closely. Sir, thank you for taking the time.
Thanks, Neil.
Senator Barrasso.